Carvings you see, which is a representation of original structure, which is Amritsar Golden Temple. Each carving takes several months to recreate across different directions in the Amritsar Golden Temple monument. Many people used to ask me, how did I make the sharp pointers on the top of the dome? Plastic is one of the greatest inventions in the society. But what I'm saying is, use plastic responsibly, dispose it responsibly, consume it responsibly. Hi, this is Sreenivas from Bangalore. The journey of arts has started since childhood. At the age of 10, I was engaged with paintings and classical dance forms. After that, I started collecting pen refills with no purpose. At the age of 15, there were so many pen refills in my cupboard with no purpose. So I used to collect just like that with no purpose to it, and it was continuing on. After PUC, I was decided to become an architect, but time turned me into a computer science engineer. I was disappointed, depressed, and devastated too. But at one point, I decided I should continue my passion towards architecture. Then the pen refills that I collected since childhood came to the rescue. So I decided to transform all these pen refills into beautiful structures. That's when in 2007, I started making miniature of Eiffel Tower with 400 pen refills. Because I was not a trained miniature artist or a professional, it took 7 months for me to build the miniature of Eiffel Tower. But after me Eiffel Tower, I ran out of pen refills. That was a moment I should continue this architecture passion and model making through pen refills. I approached my college professors and HODs where they helped me a lot by setting up the user pen refill collection boxes in the campuses. After that, I received a huge response from the students, and I started visiting each and every school in my town and colleges where I educate students on say no to plastic and create awareness on plastic pollution. At the end of the program, I set up the user pen refill collection boxes and where students will drop and I collect it for make model making. Many times, people really don't believe these are all made of pen refills. As you can see closely, so there is a pen mark that you can see on the design of the tom, which is in golden color. So basically, I leave such pen marks across each and every monument to make sure they're all made of pen refills in case people don't suspect it. Making miniatures from pen refills is not as easy as it looks. It requires a lot of patience and time for making one structure because each pen refill comes with different size, shapes, and forms. So I collect all the pen refills from various sources. I sort out whichever is clean ones and keep it aside. Whichever is the dirty ones with more ink marks on the refill. So I cut them, I clean the refill and reuse it for the model making. And in fact, some days you run out of pen refills from in the middle of the model making. In such scenarios, you need to wait for weeks and months to gather the required pen refills and continue your passion. In fact, during COVID, I struggled a lot to gather the pen refills from various sources. That is when the social media came to the rescue for me, where many people from not only from India, from abroad, from different countries, they approached me and helped me out for collecting the pen refills from various sources. In fact, people from China, Bangladesh, Ghana, and Italy, and some of the European countries who got to know about my miniature arts and the works, they got to know about it through social media, and they started helping me out by collecting pen refills from their base locations. That is when I realized the power of the social media in helping towards any common issue or global warming or any problem as such in the society. Over 16 years, I have reused over 10,000 pen refills to make 11 miniatures, and I'm sure the journey will continue with more miniatures to come. The carvings you see, which is a representation of the original monument, which is Amritsar Golden Temple. As you can see here, so each one has an intricate detail which takes several months to make it out of pen refills. So I try to replicate accuracy of the architecture, but because of the size and the nature of the pen refill, I can reflect only like 70 to 80% of the original architecture, and the remaining 20% could not be recreated unless I increase the size of the miniature monument. And each one comes with it's a lot of design, because every design will undergo a lot of analysis and preparation before we make into a miniature. As you can see here, each one has an intricate carvings. Each one is a different, each one is unique, so it requires a lot of patience and time to recreate the same structure across the monument. Even in the last 16 years, I have exhibited the miniatures at various venues, like some of the prominent events like Innovation Festival at Visheshwara Science and Technology Museum, Bangalore, and Indian Science Congress 2016, and many such prominent events. In fact, even I was one of the finalists for Rosanna Orlandi Plastic Prize, which was happened as part of Milan Design Week in 2020. Even in the year 2022, I was one of the finalists for Lexus Design Awards 2022. Many people used to ask me, how did I make the sharp pointers on the top of the dome? So basically, many pen refills come with a lot of ink marks and dust. What do I do is, so I cut the pen refills vertically like this into half, and then I polish them to make a thin layer, which will be a thin layer like this, okay, which becomes too white without any marks or dust on it. So I use them. I take the measurement, which is like 1 mm of width. So I'll make that pointy cut and stick it here. I started making miniature of Eiffel Tower, Charminar, Big Ben Clock, Taj Mahal, Leaning Tower of Pisa, Sydney Harbour Bridge, Gateway of India, Saint Philomena Church, Amritsar Golden Temple, and Jaipur Hawa Mahal. Currently, the 12th miniature is under construction, which is wait for a few more months. Pen refills are one of the ignored forms of plastic. When it comes to recycling, we always think of polythene bags, plastic covers, and household cookeries. But based on my case study in schools and colleges, on an average, a school-going student can consume minimum of 10 pens in a given academic year. Imagine how many number of pen refills that will be disposed from a given class, from a given school, and how many schools in India. So the number is countless. That is when I targeted the school and college going students to create awareness on plastic pollution. Since most of the users are pen users are school and college going students, that is when I started engaging with them by setting up the education sessions in schools and colleges, make them understand the importance of plastic and importance of plastic pollution and its hazardous effects. So, as an environmentalist, I do not conclude and always say that you should not use plastic. Plastic is one of the greatest inventions in the society. But what I'm saying is, use plastic responsibly, dispose it responsibly, consume it responsibly. That is something I would like to look forward in the society.